Hello, and I thought for this last podcast of the year 2024, I would spend some time recommending 5 books that I have read and one that I'm rereading. It's a little bit downtime for some of us, and it's perfect time to start reflecting, obviously, on the previous year and what's going to happen in 2025. But before we get there, let me tell you that those books are books that I personally have read, that I've personally using, that have an impact on me, that makes me think. I'm going to give you one about AI, one about pricing, one about money, and two about geopolitics and what's happening in the world, so that we have also some time to reflect and what it could mean for ourselves, our families, and our business. So let's start with the first one from Ronsley Vaz, and the book is called Amplify AI. Ronsley was a recent guest on my podcast. I absolutely love everything he's doing. He's got a podcast called Amplify AI. Another one is called We Are Podcast. He's working for a lot of different people, including the Gary Vee himself. Ronsley is absolutely fascinating. He has this background of being a software engineer, having a master, but also somebody who is really looking into how you are implementing everything that you're reading about. And that is exactly what he's done about AI. So this book is called Amplify AI. He goes first, basically 3 parts in the book. It goes first into the whole part of adopting AI, and is giving a lot of history of where it's coming from, what is and how it's been adopted. Very interesting, especially for people like me who didn't know anything about the history of it. So also talking about mistakes to avoid when you are adopting AI. Then the second part, which I think it's quite unique from a lot of the articles I've read, a lot of the books I've read that touches on AI and on the business. It's basically the ethical use of AI. And I really love his approach, his recommendation, how he's looking at the context of how we're using AI, giving some concrete things to think about, which I think it's absolutely needed. And then he ends up the third part, which is the Amplify AI pyramid. And he's talking about the 4 aspect on what you want to be growing with AI. You want to grow your revenue, you want to grow your brand, you want to grow your audience, and you want to grow your operations. Ronsley is really somebody who's at the center of AI, but not only at that, he has been implementing it in different organizations. And this is really something that I love. It's giving you perspective, it's giving you a little bit of a philosophical aspect of AI, and more importantly, it's giving you as well ideas to reflect and to implement, which I absolutely love. So my first recommendation, Amplify AI by Ronsley Sergio Vaz. Second book that I would recommend for you to read, which is going to help you in your business, is from Casey Brown, and it's Fearless Pricing. Pricing is obviously one of the top most, if not the most important thing for any business, but specifically for event business owners when it comes to service. How are you going to price your services? How are you going to price everything compared not only to the competition, but to the value you're bringing? And for those who are in the program with me that I'm coaching on a regular basis, you know that I always said, try to avoid really invoicing by the hour. If you charge by the hour, you are leading the way to being commoditized. Absolutely not the right way to go about pricing your services. What Casey is doing, she is an expert in pricing. She's been advising companies about the way they're pricing their product, their services. And this book, Fearless Pricing, it's, as I said, ignite your team, own your value, and command what you deserve. And what I said about a book is the following, is that Casey teaches you to stop competing on price and start selling on value. It's a book that is going to help a lot of companies. And if there is one aspect of your business that might not be maybe the most exciting one, but it's definitely the most important one is the pricing. If there is one book you want to read, it's Fearless Pricing from Casey Brown. I want to hear your feedback, and trust me, it will be time very well invested. Talking about AI, we're talking about pricing. Now let's talk about money. And why I want to talk about money is not only about money, is how you look at money. That is also leading the way you're going to grow your business. If you want to scale or if you want to grow, how you're going to look at your entire business. I'm rereading this book from Morgan Housel, The Psychology of Money. It's absolutely a foundational book for me that any business owner should be reading at least once in their life. There's different chapters, and each chapter is actually a lesson. And each chapter makes you think about your relationship with money, about your relationship to your business. What is it that you want to be doing in your life, obviously related to money? This different chapter, as I said, each chapter has a story, has a moral. There's no one's crazy, luck and risk, confounding, compounding, getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. So it's different chapters. There's one in particular that I like. It's Never Enough. And it's a story of somebody who ended up from very modest beginning, ended up leading one of the largest company in the world, and left that company about 20 years ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he was worth $100 million when he left the company. Problem was that he had a lot of billionaire relations in his network. And from some kind of reasons, he wanted to become a billionaire, went into insider trading and went to jail. And how you destroy your reputation in one action is absolutely mind-blowing to me. But imagine, he was worth $100 million. It was not enough. So that the chapter is called Never Enough. Obviously makes you think about how far you want to grow your business, what is enough for you. For those who are thinking about selling your business, is what is your number and what is the time frame? How many people that I've been coaching and telling me, oh, I want to sell my business in 5 years. Great. How much? What's your number? And the answer is, I don't know. So this type of book, different stories, different morals, makes you think about business, makes you think about money, and indirectly also makes you think about life. The Psychology of Money from Morgan Housel. And I want to finish this five books recommendation by speaking about two different books that makes me think about the world we live in, about what's going on in our environment. It's definitely not directly linked to business, although the last one is, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But let's talk about a New York Times bestseller from an author, a journalist, a thinker called Douglas Murray, and it's called The War on the West. And what Douglas Murray has written is an amazing book. I have to know that this person has been traveling all over the world and been to many different conflicts. And he's not somebody who's watching war from his computer or his TV or the comfort of his living room. He's someone who's putting an helmet, is putting a bulletproof jacket, and is going on site and is listening and talking with people, observing what's happening. And what is fascinating to me is that he has the courage to speak up. He has the courage to tell the things that he believes are right. He is very clear on what is moral clarity. And he is an amazing speaker. I really encourage you to Google Douglas Murray, and you will see all his intervention. Plus, that's of course personal, he has some dry humor, which I love. And so he can speak about something extremely serious and then instill a touch of humor in a sarcastic question. Absolutely love it. And is describing what's going on in the world, what's going on in our world. It's called The War on the West from Douglas Murray. And last but certainly not least, I want to talk about a book that absolutely devour. And if for those watching in YouTube, this is the size of the book. There is close to 500 pages. And it's by Peter Zehan. And Peter's got a YouTube channel as well that I'm following. It's very interesting. He's a former CIA. He's been traveling all over the world, is extremely knowledgeable about the geopolitics. And this book is called The End of the World is Just the Beginning. Why is it important for me and for business owners to read about it? It's because I think it's giving a very interesting view on our world, what is going on, how we're going to be impacted. And the book is divided in different sections. One is talking about transport, one is talking about finance, one is talking about energy, one is talking about industrial materials, one is talking about manufacturing, one is talking about agriculture, it's talking also about demographics. And what I love in Peter Zehan's book, The End of the World is Just the Beginning, that for each section, he's going back centuries before until today and projecting what's going to happen in the future. It's extremely interesting. It's extremely interesting these days with what's going on in the world, with the new leaders that we have in different countries. And I cannot help but think of this book every time I'm hearing something on the news. Knowing what's going on or understanding what's going on and projecting as well what's going to happen is extremely important as a business owner. Nobody has the crystal ball, but by reading this type of book, it will completely change your mindset. You will shift to the short term and thinking about the long term. And as a business owner, you will also start thinking about the different scenario, what can happen in the world, how is going to impact our even business, what are you going to do if this or that happen. That is really how you start managing your business. It's not only about sales and about team and about culture, but it's also about thinking about the future, thinking about different scenarios, and based on the scenarios, what would be the action you would take if this materialized or if this happened. So, in summary, Amplify AI from Ron Slivas, Fearless Pricing from Casey Brown, The Psychology of Money from Morgan Housel, The War on the West from Douglas Murray, and The End of the World is Just the Beginning from Peter Zehan. Enjoy the reading. Reach out to me. Let me know what you think of those books when you've read them, and think about how and what is going to mean for you as an even business owner in 2025. If you're listening today, wish you a very happy new year, a healthy new year, a fun new year, and wonderful business in 2025 and beyond. Thank you. Bye-bye.